Hi guys, I know you can't see me on film, but I couldn't figure out how to film me and get it close enough for you guys to follow along. So today we are taking the maiden voyage for CP Crafters Club, and we are going to start this tradition by completing our sock monkey. So first off, let's just take everything out of the box so we can get a good look at it. Make sure you have some scissors close by. So in the box we have our directions, which are pretty important. Let's put those to the side for a second. Our fluff, that can be put to the side as well. Oh, and we get to create our very own birth certificate, so you can name your monkey whatever you'd like, both in English and en français. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our package of socks, like they're showing us on the direction, and we're going to take out one sock. Okay. And then I'm not sure if you guys, I think we should have maybe a marker as well. I'm gonna, just because we want to make sure we're right in half. So first what we're going to do is we're going to take our sock and we're going to fold it inside out. So you want the seam on the outside like that. And see the seam? And then we're going to fold it over and make sure that we're as center as we can be. And I notice here they've actually marked the center of the sock. You see down the center how those threads are there? Oh, no, that's not the center. I take it back. So ignore those threads. They're actually part of the sock. I'm actually going to measure mine. So maybe you guys can do the same. Or another trick is to just fold the sock in half. So you're like this, your ends are in half. And your heel is tucked in. And we're going to cut up to the bottom of the heel. So we're only going to cut from here to here. So if you want to take your scissors, well, one side of my sock cut through. I'm gonna put it flat and see if that'll help. Or actually, I'll just go straight up. So I'm going to continue my cut until you hit the heel, because that's going to become the bottom, just like that. So now that you've cut up both sides, you have it like this. While keeping it inside out, we're going to start sewing it together. So if you get your package and your white floss, and I guess we'll just start with a biggest piece as you feel comfortable threading through. So I'm going to start with a piece that's about 1 foot long. I'm going to cut the end, leave my other thread to the side. Be careful you don't do what I did and tangle it up. Then we're going to look in this little bag again. You should have a needle in there. And then you're going to thread your needle. Pull it up about that far so you have a good overlay. And we're going to knot one end. And to do the knot, we're just going to wrap it around our finger like this. So you've got a little bit of a loop. Pull through. Just like tying your shoelaces. And here we go, our sewing stitch. So starting, making sure your sock is inside out still. Starting on one side, we're going to match up the corners. And we're going to start sewing right here at the bottom. So we're going to stick through all the way. And this is our first stitch, so we want to make sure it's anchored. Then you're going to come over on top. We're going to go through again just beside. Pull through almost all the way until you have a loop. You see my loop? We're going to go over top of the loop and through. And then we're going to pull tight. Then we're going to keep doing that all the way around. I'll go through it one more time. So you want to go to the side closest to you. Take your needle, pierce it, pull through till you have a loop. Bring your thread towards you. Now you're going to go around the loop and through. Give it a good pull. And we'll keep going a couple more. Just drop my needle. Nobody enjoys that. Oh. So if you end up with a little bit of a loop, you can always put your needle underneath and undo, and then just give it another little pull. And there, my loop's gone. So you're going to keep sewing until you get to the end here. Once you get to the end of what was originally the ankle part of the sock, you continue around and you want to take it approximately up until you have enough room to make sure the stuffing will go in. So we're going to continue sewing up and around. Okay, so as you can see, I've continued sewing up the leg till I'm about, I don't know, ½ an inch from the center. So now I'm going to show you how to tie it off so you have a good strong knot that won't come apart. So you're going to go through your material one more time. And then instead of just doing one loop around, to give that knot, you're gonna do one more. Pull it nice and tight. There's your knot, nice and secure. Cut it as close to the knot as you can because we don't want to waste any thread. And now, again, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So line them up on the side, so across and then down, leaving about ½ an inch on the side for stuffing. And we'll see you when you're done that part. Okay, so now that we've sewed up the other leg, we've left our spot open, we're going to stuff our monkey. So how we're going to do that is we're going to take out approximately half of the fluff from our package, and we're going to separate it so it's not so clumped together. Take your sock, and we're going to flip it right side in, including the little legs. So once you have it flipped around, it should look something like this. Okay, nice and flat, little legs. So starting with the leg, we're going to take some of our fluff and stuff it right down in there until it hits the toes. And then you're going to keep going until the leg is completely nice and full. And now the other leg. Once you have the legs done, you can start stuffing the body. Make him as chubby or as slender as you want. Here's what he's starting to look like there. I think I'm gonna add some to his legs a little bit. So once you got them as puffy, stuffy as you'd like them, add a little bit more. Make sure you have enough left to do his arms and his tail of the fluff. So I used about half. Here's what I have left of my bag. So half the fluff for the body and the legs, and then we'll use the other half for the tail and the ears. So yeah, we can always move it around a little bit once we get the sewing done. So we're gonna give him a little bit of a sew here. I just have to look up the stitch because I'm not remembering it right now. So I'll be right back so we can walk through the stitch on how to close this gap to ensure that he doesn't lose his stuffing. All right, now it's time to sew our little guy together. And what we're going to use to do that is a ladder stitch. Now, it's a little bit different than the first stitch and is a little more time consuming. So we're going to, again, thread your needle, tie off your end, and first you're going to do it what they call an anchor stitch. So you're going to grab your guy where you want to sew him, you're going to flip underneath and just anchor your guy by doing it one time. So now to do a ladder stitch, you're going to you're going to flip it around, start on this side. Oh, mine just came out. See, told you. I didn't anchor it very good. Let me get another knot here. And we're going to come in on the one side. But we want our anchor to be underneath, so we're only going to do the one. Oh, again I did it, I tell you. All right. So once you have it anchored with a knot, cut off your excess. And now we're going to start what's called a ladder stitch. A ladder stitch is a little bit different because we're not going to be connecting the seam right away. So starting on the opposite side of your anchor, on the outside of the fold, you're going to do about a stitch like this, about 1/8 of an inch. So you're going to go in that side and out again, sort of like darning socks. And then you're going to head and do the same thing on the other side. So picking up and a little bit of 1/8 of an inch of a stitch. No knots needed in this one. This one's just a good old-fashioned straight stitch. So once you get that side in, again you're going to flip to the other side. And you're going to do a little bit of 1/8 going the lengthwise. All right. And back over to the other side. I'm going to continue this pattern all the way through, just like when the doctor gives stitches after surgery. they use a ladder stitch with a knot. We're not going to add the knot because we don't have to, but yeah. It does get a little awkward. I think next time I'm going to use my ladder stitch on the legs and do a full in around, because this is a little difficult. So you see my ladder pattern starting there? Yeah, and as you pull it tight, the seam disappears. So I'm going to continue my ladder stitch until I get my hole closed. Alright, we're taping again. So as you can see, I'm done my ladder back stitch. You see how that looks like a ladder a little bit? And what I'm going to do is pull the end and watch it close up. And here we, oh, he's a slippery little bugger. And there we go. See, nice seam. You can't see the seam. Beautiful. And now, of course, the tying off. So to tie off without leaving too much of a noticeable area, we're just going to flip in again through both sides, come around, so you have a loop, and you're going to circle that loop twice. So one, oh, I'll get the leg out of the way though, and two. And then pull tight, and there's your knot. Nice and secure. And a little. So now you can just move around your stuffing a little bit, fill him out a little bit more. So there we have it, the sock monkey bottom. I'm not going to cut that because I'm not sure if it's connected to anything. And that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is our first chance. So here is our sock monkey body. As everybody can, oh, look, it could be a bunny too. Just add the legs. So we're going to end it there for today. And next week we will be working on the arms, the tail, and the ears. Again, it'll be posted to YouTube so everybody can catch up. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.